Hello besties, welcome back to another video. I have a sort of fun one to do today. I have my top 10 favorite books of all time, and this is going to be a mix of all genres, but mainly romance because I am a mainly romance reader, as you'll probably learn or know. So without further ado, let's get into it. Ranking in at number 10 is going to be two books because it's a series. It's a duology. It's the Killing and Hunting November duology. This is a YA kind of thriller. There's romance aspects to it. It's a dark academia type of story. The main character goes to this academy that she doesn't even know exists. Most people don't know it exists. And she is thrown into this like dark academia, so like knife throwing. They learn how to knife throw. They learn how to like be stealthy. There's a lot of rules. Their rules for the school is eye for eye. So if someone punches you, you can turn around and punch them back. So she's thrown into this life and has no idea why and what's going on. And so you follow her journey. It's actually a really fun YA read if you're into thrillery kind of dark academia. I would highly recommend. Number 9, we're coming in at the Thousandth Floor trilogy. So there's the Thousandth Floor, the Dazzling Heights, and the Towering Sky. This is also another YA series. Yeah, another YA series. It's sci-fi, it's romance, it's futuristic Gossip Girl is the best way I can explain this. It's multi-point of views, so you follow like 4 or 5 in the first book, and each character has their own trauma, romances, like thriller vibes, like people die. But essentially they live in one tower in New York City, and there's 1,000 floors, and you follow one of the main characters actually lives on the 1,000th floor. Her family built the tower, so she's like rich, and obviously the farther you get down the tower, the poorer it is, and the rougher the conditions. So these rank at number 9. This series was awesome. I loved it. I highly enjoyed it, and this is definitely a reread for me. Okay, number 8 is going to be nostalgic for me. Coming in is going to be Brutal Prince. This book got me into mafia romance. I haven't read the rest of the series. I do have it though. This book though was so good. I remember reading this in like one night. And it's a mafia romance with arranged marriage. So their forced proximity is there. She like has to, I think, move in with him like very early on, and they like absolutely hate each other. She literally poisons him on their wedding night. Like, it's insane, but so good. Highly recommend this. Definitely my number 8. Okay, coming in at number 7 is going to be really unpopular opinion, but I have to go with The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I am a STEM girly in real life and at heart. I'm a software engineer, so this one resonates like really deep with me. It's a romance book about a student. She's like a graduate student, so she's like older, and then he's a teacher. She like panics in the hallway and kisses her professor, and he's like grumpy. She doesn't realize who she kissed until afterwards, and she like runs away because she's scared, and then because he's like grumpy sunshine, so like she doesn't know how he's gonna react. And like she knows that like he hates everyone. He's like one of those teachers that literally like grades really hard. He hates everyone, and they slowly start fake dating. But yeah, this book, really good. All my STEM girlies recommend it. And it's a cute fake dating romance, so number 7. Moving into number 6 is going to be different. It's a thriller, and it's going to be Lock Every Door by Riley Sagar. This is the only Riley Sagar book I've ever read, but this was one of the first thrillers I ever read, so it was very traumatizing. It's very creepy, and essentially the main character that you follow, she finds a job listing online for an apartment sitting, and live in the apartment, and you receive money, paychecks. I think it's a couple months or something, and she is like desperate. She needs a place to live, she needs money, so she takes the offer. But the apartment building is really creepy, and the plot twist is something I never ever saw coming, and it honestly was traumatizing. But if you're looking for a good thriller, and I would recommend this if you aren't like reading tons and tons of thrillers, because I feel like you'll definitely maybe guess the plot twist, or maybe not be as shocked as I was. But if you're new to thrillers, pick this book up. It was amazing. So coming in at 5 is a fantasy, and I have Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmer. This book is so good. It's a YA fantasy romance. So essentially it's dual point of view. You follow two characters. One, you don't know who they are half the book because their identity is hidden. And the other one is Tessa, who lives in a poor sector. And essentially there's several sectors, and there is a sickness that has broken out throughout the entire sectors. And Tess is undercover, and she works with the undercover male character of the story, and they essentially make medicine and grind it up, and they run through the houses at night, even though there's a curfew, and if they get caught, they get in trouble, and they deliver medicine to people who can't afford it, don't know how to get it, don't know how to make it. So they work together, and there is a ton of plot twists and a ton of different plot lines. I would really recommend this book. The book 2 is already out. Book 3 comes out soon. And book 2 was just as good. So number 4, we're gonna get back on the romance kick. So number 4 is A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. This is a dark bully romance, so definitely check your triggers before you go into it. But essentially it's a dark academia book, and you follow dual point of view. The female main character is a sweet, innocent girl who is very preppy. She's very popular. Everyone wants to be her and be friends with her. And then you have the male main character that is, you know, dark, gets into a lot of trouble. He's like a bad boy, and he knows that he shouldn't want her, and he knows that he shouldn't involve himself with her, but he does. So you follow their story throughout the entire thing, and there is bullying because sweet innocent girl, dark male, you're gonna have it. Number 3, this book I wasn't expecting to rank as high as it did, but when I was sitting down looking at all my books, I'm like, this has to be 3. I have Rewrite the Rules by Takeover. This is number 2 in the companion novels for this series, but this one I think is my favorite out of the 4 that I've read. The 5th one isn't out yet. Essentially, it's dual point of view, and you follow Addie and you follow Joel. And Addie is a writer, and she writes like smutty romance novels. And so Joel is like a boss in one of these big companies that Addie works for as assistant. And essentially they work together, and Joel is very grumpy sunshine, so he's like, he hates relationships, he doesn't think they work, he doesn't want anything to do with them. And then Addie is this sweet, like, innocent girl who lacks like experience, and she writes these like graphic romance novels, but she writes under a pen name, so like no one knows that it's her writing them besides her best friends. She also is trying to fight her feelings from Joel because he's just this mean, grumpy guy. He's not actually mean to her, but he's this grumpy guy. So this one definitely ranks 3. This one's really good. If you haven't checked out the series, you don't know this series, I recommend it. Okay, so ranking number 2 is going to be The Takeover by T.L. Swan. This is also book 2 in the series, and my favorite of this series, and for many reasons. So this is dual point of view, and you follow Tristan, which is one of the Mile High boys, and essentially he is the CEO of their company. They all run together, all that stuff. And he is trying to buy out a company that is owned by the female main character in the story. And essentially her husband owned it, and he passed away. And so Tristan comes in and he tries to take it over, and she's like, absolutely not. Like, I'm going to run this. I'm going to take care of it, blah, blah, blah. He tries to buy the company. She says no. They, 6 months down the line, meet at a conference. She falls under his spell, and then they have a on and off going relationship going into it. And obviously she has 3 boys, so it complicates it. And I just love the single mother aspect of this book, and I think the male character in this book fits the theme very well. And I think that's why it's rated so high. I think this is just so well written. The romance is awesome. The spice is awesome. highly recommend. For my favorite book of all time, and if you follow me on any of my social medias, you probably would have guessed this. If not, maybe had an idea. But it is Twisted Lies by Hannah Huang. She is probably my all-time favorite author. If one topped the cake, this is number 4 in the companion series, and it follows Stella and Christian Harper. And Christian Harper is one of my all-time favorite book boyfriends because he's just... Anyways, he's like grumpy, dark. It's definitely on the darker side, but not a dark romance. But he's definitely like, you look at her and I'll kill you type of vibes. And Stella's just this sweet, like romantic who like loves flowers and holding hands and all of that stuff. Christian Harper owns a security company, and Stella has a past threat that is coming into the picture, and she like needs security and all of this. She meets Christian and he's like obsessed with her right off the bat, but it's not insta love, if that makes... As the cover says, Twisted Lies. There's a bunch of lies, there's a bunch of plot twists, there's a bunch of just chaos. The story is written so well, the spice so well. My favorite book characters probably ever is Christian Harper. And yeah, this would definitely rank my number 1. So there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video and showing your love and support as always. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that business. Also, feel free to comment down below books that are on your top 10 or books you'd recommend me. Specifically romance, thrillers, fantasy, whatever you want. Drop them in the comments. I would love to read your favorite book.